good morning everyone, and thanks for being with us today for this new live session of AxelTech Live. Today I'm here with Matteo Castagnoli. Thank you very much, Matteo, for being with us.
No, thank you for inviting me.
It's really a pleasure being with you today. We will start a new session of webinars with Matteo. We would like to focus more on the user side, Matteo. So you will help us to figure out how our customers use our products, what are their needs in using, and what we can fulfill with our solutions. So today we will start this new brand new session with one of our most famous and also loved products, which would be YOUPLAY, so our production playout. So thank you again for being with us today. Normally we are speaking with our customer from Europe, USA, maybe someone who is already who is following us from Asia, even if it's quite late in the night. So thank you again. If you are following us from YouTube and you have some question or doubt, please just push on the bell here above and just send your questions. If you're following us through Facebook, you can just use the live chat and we will be more than glad to reply to all your doubts. So Matteo, today we are already introducing YOUPLAY, which is our production playout. In your experience, you are a consultant well, mostly in the Americas. How our customers use YOUPLAY, and why would you suggest this kind of solution to a TV?
Oh, let's say good morning everyone, or good evening, depending if you are in Asia or in Europe or in US or South America. YOUPLAY, it's a very flexible tool, and let's say Axel developed this software listening to the client's needs. I've been a trainer in Axel for several years. Right now I'm a consultant for many channels and radio station and TV station in the Americas. And the kind of interesting point on the YOUPLAY is that it's a very flexible software to play out any kind of media, and Axel brought all the experience of the engineers, of the trainers, listening the clients at the shows, like all the requests, the needs, like the practical needs they are encountering during a live production, they brought it in this software. So today, I'm not gonna do any like physical demonstration of the software. I'm going to focus exactly in solving like the typical issues or the typical things like people doing live production they used to find out when they have a strict workflow or where they need a lot of flexibility. So content coming from iPhone, from any kind of smartphone in different kind of resolution, they have to go over the air very quickly, videos in different resolution, pictures. So we're going to oversee like the typical features, and as well we are going to reveal some new features available, updating your YOUPLAY if you are an existing user, or if you are going to try YOUPLAY in those days. So we're going to talk about these new features, very interesting for the COVID period, for many reasons. So we're going to see.
Okay, that's great. So you already mentioned that one of the most important things about YOUPLAY would be is flexibility. Okay, one of the aspects of this flexibility would be the very huge amount of different formats that you can use. Can you just do a very brief recap and just maybe showing us how this can be very important in case of urgencies or in different workflows?
Yes, absolutely. YOUPLAY allows everyone to play out, as I said, any kind of media file. So from any kind of codec, let's say more than 300 different codec, different resolution, different frame rates, different aspect ratio, and you have the full control of each clip. So per each clip, you can define exactly what he has to do. So if he has to stretch, to zoom in, zoom out, to crop, So you have the full control of any media you are going to insert, as well audio file or pictures. YOUPLAY, as we are seeing today, here I have the interface with two YOUPLAY open. So there are two different channels.
Yeah, normally we can manage, depending from the license, we can manage up to 4 different channels in one machine.
Yes, and imagine to the people, like every one of us, if you are in production, you know, you have a Blackmagic board installed in a workstation, and you're using it to play out things or editing. You can download YOUPLAY directly on the website. I'm going to show you the Axel Technology website. So you go to www.axeltechnology.com. You go in the YOUPLAY page. And over here, you're going to see download YOUPLAY free. On YOUPLAY free, you will be able, for real, to use the software and to appreciate a big number of functionalities. Some of them, they are locked since they are required to have a specific
a different license.
So you're
we
going
can
to mention
always
your
do an
license.
upgrade,
Yes.
etc.
But if you have a Blackmagic, you can just download the software and you can try, and I'm going to show you how it's simple. It doesn't require any training. You don't need basically to read the manual of the software because it's very user-friendly. So this is my layout. I have 2 channels. As Simona was saying, I can have up to 4 different channels at the same time playing or recording. That's another big features of the software. You can assign to those 4 channels what you want to do. So if you wanted to use it as 4 players, 2 players or 2 recorders, and they're bi-directional, so very flexible. I open a folder in my hard drive. I can just drag and drop any kind of media, and I'm importing very different media, so different codec, different resolution. There are several features on how you want to treat the playlist or the single clip.
Okay.
Let me insert as well audio file and a picture. So if you see, there's no like transcoding or awaiting. Like,
okay, no need to wait to change the format because it is going to be read automatically.
Yes, so everything is automatically. It's natively in the software, the ability to play out everything.
Any kind of file,
on the
basically.
way. So I can move my playlist up and down. I can define if I want to play the entire playlist as it is, one by one. So I'm going to play one clip and then the software is going to stop and it's going to wait another interaction from the user in case it's me.
Of course.
Just I'm going to press play again, or looping the entire playlist.
Okay.
What I can do on the single like play of the clip is that I can assign like just playing this clip and I can loop this clip.
Okay.
So until I'm gonna do something on the next clip, the system will loop.
It's going to play
this.
automatically the same track.
That's very interesting during news production
Yeah.
or a talk show where you need to fit some monitors in studio, or you need like there's the journalist talking about a topic, and there are several images.
Stuck on that topic, of course.
What we can do on this clip, I'll be very quick on this. So the clip you see is looping. I have counters. I can pause the clip and I can mark in and mark out with no render.
Okay,
so what does it mean?
Live.
Live. So let's say I receive raw footage.
Yeah.
So I need to cut some parts.
Okay.
I can just like trim and search for the entry point, mark in, going to the out and mark out. So I set the mark in and mark out. Right now the mark part is in yellow. I do confirm and the clip is already with the correct mark in and mark out.
Okay, that's great. And let's say that I receive some kind of video from a cell phone, which is nowadays very common. What can I do with that? Normally, it is done in a vertical format.
Yes.
How can I use it? What can I do on that?
The interesting things on YOUPLAY, that it's a very interesting tool for any kind of TV station. Talking about big network to community radio station or local station, TV station that needs to play out content. And of course, today, if you have a breaking news, maybe one of the viewers sent to the channel a video recorded with a phone. So it's in vertical, or it's in a low resolution, or it's not in the common TV aspect ratio. So what I can do, it's the full control in each clip in defining
Okay.
what
so
kind
there-
of aspect ratio. If I need to stretch the video, you see, right now I'm using a 16:9 video,
Yeah.
so it's already done. But I can convert it to 4:3
Okay.
or to adjust it in other frame rates, defining the field, so if upper or lower field.
Okay.
You see, right now I'm playing out in 4:3,
Yeah.
so I can say 16:9 or automatic, and the content automatically rescale. If I have a vertical video, I can decide if I want to zoom in, just to don't have
Of
very
course,
big
the-
black bars
Of course.
on the sides.
sides.
If I want to like crop and use just a portion.
Yeah.
So there are several ways to adapt the
Okay.
video you are receiving to go over the air nicely without passing through editing station.
Okay, and of course this is the perfect tool to work while you are on air, but
Absolutely.
also in hobby events and in every kind of situation where you need to perform live.
Yes, you said the right word. So obiven. Many obiven, they have like kind of play out, mostly for replay, for some kind of usage in sport production, for example. Maybe they are recording a convention, they need to play out some videos, they need something very quick because the client brought to you a USB 10 minutes before going live. You can just drop those videos directly in the server,
Okay.
in your workstation, and just with the drag and drop, you can create your own playlist. Why I'm talking about playlist? Because I can save this rundown, that's the typical name of the playlist in news production. I can save this playlist with the date of today.
Okay.
I can save, I can even clear my playlist and reload
And
my playlist
done
just with
it
the drag
again.
and drop.
Okay, that's brilliant. Even because you can reuse it and
Absolutely.
maybe update it for the next news timing or
Yes.
everything. Okay, that's great. And
That's-
talking about Obivan, it just came in my mind that one of the the second, let's say, level of something very important that we should mention about YOUPLAY would be the perfect integration with both hardware and software of third parts.
Yes.
So, for example, normally speaking, the video mixer
Yes.
integration, so with ATEM or tools like that.
Yes, let's assume like the followers are watching this live program. They're working in very different TV stations
Yes,
with different
very
environments. So big TV station, they used to have a newsroom system, everything vertical, very strict workflow just to respect timing, rundown, and all the triggers, because when you play out a news, you have triggers of graphics and other elements in the newscast. It comes out, you have a breaking news and you need the control, like to play out a content that was not ingested in the newsroom system.
Okay.
So YOUPLAY, it can be triggered manually by the operator, just pressing play to the video they want to play out, or it can be controlled passively, or YOUPLAY can control actively third parts equipment.
Okay.
So in a TV station, high-end, you find MOS protocol, GPI, so YOUPLAY can be controlled actively or passively from GPI and MOS protocol
That's great.
for high-end integration.
Okay.
On the other side, I'm
Yes.
assuming, I was working in a local TV station, so I know
Of course, we know
what's the typical
the
setup.
kind of workflow very well.
So we were having TriCaster, Blackmagic, Atem Television. So what's happened? There's few operators in the control room.
Of course.
You have to manage audio and the video mixer.
Yeah.
And you have as well a rundown of the playlist that may be changed frequently because the journalist is changing the rundown during the live program according to the latest news or whatever. So you can assign, and we are going to see quickly the setting of YOUPLAY. And in the YOUPLAY setting, you find a session named remote. This session allows you to define if you are using a Atom or a TriCaster.
Okay.
On the Atom, you put the IP address of the Atom. You know, the Atom from Blackmagic can be controlled via IP, so you can assign an IP to the video mixer. And you specify to UPlay in which video input of the video mixer.
Okay, do you want to manage?
Do you want to manage the video?
UPlay, okay.
So let's say on the input number 5. Example of the passive control of UPlay.
Yes.
The operator press 5 on the video mixer and UPlay automatically plays the video that is in the playlist. The operator turn back to the camera, to the studio. UPlay goes in pause or in stop, depending on your controls. And it stays in pause to the next clip, awaiting for another trigger from the operator.
Okay, so once you will push again the number 5, it will start.
It will start again with the next clip.
Okay, that's great.
So that's the typical environment when you have few people in live production and you have to manage different things and you have just 2 ends, one for audio and one for video.
Yeah, different sources.
Different sources.
Okay. So we have a question. I think that we quite reply already, but anyway, we can revise it. From Paul, can I create a sequence to be played once or more times?
Absolutely. Hi Paul, if you have a Blackmagic, Decklink and Windows, you can download the free version of the software and you can test it by yourself and you will see it's going to work. So you can create your own playlist. It can goes in loop. And of course, like this playlist can goes in loop until you press stop or until you're going to load something new. So of course, yes, the question was, I can create a sequence? Yes. So I'm going to show you to you very quickly from scratch. You open the software is empty. You create with the drag and drop, or I'm lazy, so I'm doing the drag and drop, but you can do it in a professional way, just pressing the plus.
You can go and search for
and browse for your videos.
For the video.
Depending on how you like to work. If you have time, you can just browse for the right.
Okay, let's just recall also the fact that you, of course, you can create some sequence and save it, as we just
So here
showed,
we have the video.
But this is not an automation.
Yes.
So if the question was implying some idea of scheduling, this is not the right product. I mean, there are some customers that are using UPlay as a playout.
Yes.
Not only for a production playout, but for an actual playout. But it is not our suggestion.
So we are not talking about automation.
No.
So this is a playout, so it doesn't have any concept of exact time, of triggering advertising at a specific hour point, or putting station ID. So you have a playlist, you see, we create it, you can save it, there's a button, save, you can save your playlist, you can recall it at any time, just open, drag and drop, or double click and you load your playlist. If you select start to end, so it means it's going to play everything from the beginning to the bottom, and you are going to select to go in loop, just the system will loop this playlist. It could be interesting if you are not talking about automation, but just in looping clip. We have several clients, local station in digital, so they have thematic channels, and they have 15 minutes packages of news, like looping. They are creating a playlist. They are looping this playlist until the new news comes in the station. There's a function very interesting if you are creating a thematic channel. First of all, UPlay is not just going out over SDI, but it can go in IP streaming and as well over NDI. So if you are having a TriCaster, you don't need to have a Blackmagic. You can go directly, playing directly from the UPlay server directly to the one of the input of your TriCaster, because it goes through the NDI protocol. Second things, if you are having a thematic channel, I was saying like a 15-minute packages of news looping all day long. There's a button, CG, that allows you to put...
Oh yeah, this is a very nice tool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a very simple layout. There's a logo, there's an hour and the name of the channel.
Yeah.
But imagine when you install UPlay, The system comes with a free software as a CG
Yeah,
template.
CG Composer.
Yes, and allows you to create a crawl with breaking news, and you can have those feed of news coming from RSS, Excel file, TXT, so a journalist in the newsroom can just update a TXT file, and you're having a standalone news channel,
Yeah.
not automation. Just a standalone news channel in Loop. But we have clients having news channel over Facebook, like streaming in Facebook, these.
Yeah, you can manage it perfectly
easily.
and really quickly, and as we already show, in a very, very flexible way.
Yes,
So UPlay will adapt, let's say, to any workflow. We can say that.
Absolutely.
We are quite confident.
Yes.
So we can say that we already tested it in almost any kind of environment. So from very, very big companies and organizations to the most little community channel.
yes. Very quick recap for those that are connecting right now.
Yeah.
So we are talking about UPlay, a solution allowing you, it's a player, multi-format, any codec, any kind of media, pictures, videos, and audio. You can have on your own workstation, depending on the Blackmagic you have, up to 4 channels. And depending on the license that Simona is going to explain you, you can have just play or play while record.
While rec.
So everything is bi-directional. You can decide how you want to use the UPlay.
Yes,
So-
of course. And let's also recall to the wonderful people that are following us today that if you're following us from YouTube, you are more than welcome. Just press the bell here above and send us any question, suggestion, or doubt you might have. If you are following us through Facebook, please use the live chat. I would also like to thank, because I forgot at the beginning of the session, I would like to thank our director, which is following us in all of our live sessions. So thanks to Gianluca Righi. And thanks to Stefano Grego for the wonderful organization of all these live events. So we can go on. We already introduced some tools, some
Yes.
shortcuts. We
I
already
have
show.
3 things.
Okay, you
Just
have
3 things. I'm gonna
Okay.
bring 2 minutes.
Okay.
Just 3 things interesting. So we were talking about the CG,
Yes.
the control, active or passive of a video mixer, and that's another interesting thing. For those in high-end channels that are maybe like bringing high-end video files,
Yes.
UPlay allows you to manage up to 16 audio channels. Let's say you are like importing a video with 16 different audio channels,
Okay.
and each audio channel has a different language or different like kind of soundtracks.
Okay.
You can decide if you want to play everything or if you want just to select some of those audio
Oh, okay.
like tracks, audio channels
Okay.
to go over the air. So if I have a video with English version, Italian version,
Spanish,
Portuguese and
okay.
Spanish, and they want to use just the English one,
You
I
can
can
choose
go and treat my video just to
Okay.
play out just the number of channels I want.
Okay.
Moreover, like I can adjust the audio level.
Okay.
Of course, like professional station has their own audio mixer, so it doesn't have sense in controlling the audio channel over here.
Of course.
But if you have a thematic channel and this goes in loop in Facebook or on a website, you can
Okay.
do
You
your
can
own
adjust
like,
it on
control.
every track. Okay.
The other nice things, it's, let me clear a little the playlist.
Yeah.
It's the watch folder option.
Oh yeah, that's very nice.
Always thinking to the people that are running thematic channel, there's not a lot of people like working on those channels and you want to automate as much as you can. You're having 3 nonlinear editing stations, they're editing news,
Yeah.
and you have to call in the production control room saying, hi Simona, there's a new video in the folder, you have to drag and drop in the playlist.
Okay.
There's
Can
a-
be tricky.
Can be tricky. During a live program, you receive calls, you have the
Of
producers
course.
giving you some other
And
details.
you always have 2 ends.
So, yes, and
Only.
always 2 ends. What happens? There's an automation allowing you to let UPlay check the content of a folder
Okay, automatically.
automatically and gives you a notification.
Oh, that's great.
Let me show you.
Brilliant.
So here I have my folder, right?
Yes.
With all my videos. I have a watch folder button over here.
Okay.
I can say to UPlay to check exactly to the content of a specific folder.
Okay.
You see it's active
So you
because
just
it's
have
a yellow.
to set up which folder do
Yes.
you want to be update about.
And let's simulate.
Yeah.
A guy from the editing station is sending me
Okay.
a video. So I drag and drop this video, let's say this commercial,
Okay, in the folder.
in the folder. And you see there's a notification.
Okay.
Number 1. So YOUPLAY says, attention operator, to the
There is
operator
a
working.
new contribution in your folder.
Yes, there's a new file in the folder.
Perfect.
You don't have to drag and drop, just you press 1, but you can put as many as you want. So
Of course.
let me copy a new content. And here it's gonna check
Okay.
and it's gonna say 2, you see? It
Okay,
turns
and
to
so
2.
you can open the folder.
I can double click over here.
Okay.
Let's see.
And automatically, oh, okay.
And YOUPLAY
That's great.
automatically put those videos in the
your
playlist.
playlist. Brilliant.
So that's why I was saying it's not a demonstration. We're gonna see how.
Yeah, no, just to show some little tricks, little tools.
Yes.
All the things, let's say, that you learned during the years and that can be interesting, as we said at the beginning, for very different kind of customers. One more thing that we introduced at the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
it's something that is not useful only for the broadcast field, but it can be applied on many different uses. And that's what we call the Mosaic feature. Can you just briefly explain
Yes.
to us what
So
is this about?
the Mosaic Features allows you to save a lot of money if you are running a small TV station, but you need to have a great look on the newscast or in a live program, or if you are organizing events and you have a video wall in a street, in a square, in a public
an
place.
exhibition
an
when we are
exhibition
going
as
to
well.
come back doing them.
So how YOUPLAY can allows you to solve the issue in not buying very expensive video wall. You can buy typical
Yes,
LED screen,
very
flat
light
screen.
screen.
You decide with your creative department how you want to arrange them.
Yes.
YOUPLAY allows you, if you have, for example, a Blackmagic decklink with 4 outputs, to split this channel, for example, the channel number 1, in 4 different outputs to be sent to the 4 different displays. And this is the result. I'm going to show you pictures.
Yes, some
That's
sample
very-
of the.
So if I have just one
Output.
output, it goes just in one screen.
Okay.
Full screen. But I can have 2 screens in vertical. I can select a portion of my video.
Okay, you can choose it.
Of course, it works well if you have 4K videos. But
Okay.
if you have a newscast and you have a logo in loop, and you have to place it in 3 monitors,
Yeah.
Not stretch, but as a video wall, with section of videos per each monitor. So those are the section in vertical, just giving you an idea. You see the
Yeah.
red portion. So
Sure.
YOUPLAY brings this red portion and play
Okay,
it out
and
to
it
the 4.
adjusts it in
Yes.
all the screens.
This is the vertical. Here we have a sample on the solution
Okay.
in horizontal. So how it's
Sure.
going to treat the image in horizontal, and as well for the most creative TV
Okay,
channels,
in very different formats.
in very
and,
different formats.
Okay.
How you set up this? Very briefly, you go in the setting, and there's a section named Mosaic.
Mosaic.
The system retrieve, you have different deck link,
Okay.
so you can assign to to each deck link what kind of resolution you want to use, and the portion of video with the
So
pixel.
you just have to choose which part of the image or
Yes.
video you want to send to the
A
right
specific
output.
Absolutely. So if you have just 2 deck link, you're going to set up just 2. If you're going to have 4, you're going to have 4, and you're going to split the output of this channel in 4 different deck link.
Okay, that's brilliant.
And someone could say, well, so you can play out just pre-recorded file. Yes, because it's just a loop of video clip pre-ingested. I cannot manage the live feed on a video wall since it plays out ingested file.
Yeah.
But there's a new option allowing you to import in your playlist not just video, pictures, and audio, but as well NDI virtual sources.
Okay, that's
and
great.
that's open
Yeah,
to
a very wide range
very wide
of
range of
uses.
opportunities. Let's say I have my rundown, my news are all pre-done, but at a certain point, I have in my rundown to play out the contribution of a journalist in the newsroom through an NDI camera. I can put it in my playlist. So here in the plus button, I can select NDI,
NDI, okay.
so I can bring live source in my playlist.
Okay, so you will see all the sources that are
Yes.
working on an NDI format, and you can choose it and just put it on air.
Absolutely. So let's say here, those are all the NDI sources available here in Axel
Yeah.
Technology for all the engineers
Yeah, we
working.
have many, of course.
So I can see there's a demo room in the showroom of Axel, the output of a vMix.
Okay, let's see.
So I select the vMix, of course, like there's an IP address.
Okay.
I press OK. You see there's a NDI
Yeah,
icon
logo.
coming in. I cue the clip, and when it's ready, it goes over the air. So
Okay.
right now we are playing out what is coming physically out
Yeah,
from a
we have
vMix.
this nice animation of our logo.
So this is a live feed. It's not a pre-recorded. If you have the Mosaic, you can split this live feed in several outputs.
Okay,
So
that's great.
you can manage in the video wall pre-recorded field coming from the playlist and live feed coming from,
From
NDI.
an NDI.
That's
Okay.
interesting for both, using the Mosaic function, but as well for those are producing a newscast or any kind of program where it's required to have an NDI
Some kind of
source.
NDI source.
Yes.
That's great. And so we are almost at the end of our nice session,
Oh, wow.
but
Okay.
we won't leave before to give some news to our customers. So we are today also introducing a very, very nice new feature. Of course, you will understand immediately why we came to this new feature. It is called remote control, and basically it is a web application of a remote control, so you can have the complete control of the YOUPLAY in a different interface, because it is a web interface, but you can manage it from any kind of tool. I mean, from a smartphone, from a tablet, from a PC, a laptop, anything. Can you show it
Absolutely.
to us, Matteo?
Why a remote control? Of course, during this emergency period, most of the production control room cannot fit a big number of people,
Yeah.
of operators, because they have to keep distances and arrange the way they are producing in a different way.
Yeah, so it is not only for people who is already working from home, but
Yes.
also for those customers who can
Yes.
come back to their offices but can fit in the same office.
Yes. So we saw during the last 12 months
Yeah.
many TV stations like remoting units from different rooms.
Yeah.
So you have the guy from the playout in one room, the guy for managing the video mixer in the main production
Okay.
control room. So all people working remotely. What happened? Most of the people are installing KVN, working with remote desktop. So there are several ways. I'm from, my background is from a small TV channel, and all the units, like the PC, they were installed in the production control room. What happened? They're very noisy.
Yeah.
So when it comes to have a lot of computers running, and it's summer, there's a
Yeah, it's
high
hot.
temperature, it's hot,
Okay.
the fans are creating noise.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I can remote this unit without buying a KVM, that's
Yeah.
kind of expensive,
Of course.
using a remote desktop that requires me another PC,
Yeah,
to
a
remote.
powerful PC and everything.
and I have a remote control. So YOUPLAY creates a virtual playlist.
Okay.
It shows you everything in a web browser.
And you have all the tools that we just saw, and
Yes.
and also many more that we didn't
Yes.
show today.
I can create my playlist, I can play out, I can stop. So all the controls you have on the physical machine,
Yeah,
they are replicated and available on a web browser.
That's great.
Why a web browser? Because it doesn't need any installation.
Yeah.
People can use it on a Mac
Yeah,
laptop,
on every kind of.
iPad, any kind of tablet, smartphone. Of course, it's
Yeah,
a small
it's little,
one, so
but
it's
still
little.
in emergency.
But you have
can,
the full control of the playlist, so you can remotely work on your like news playlist in this way without buying KVM extension, remote desktop, and it doesn't need any installation.
That's
so any
great.
operator, the last second, just with any browser, that's very important. So
Yeah.
it's compatible with any browser. Just put the IP of the server, the UPlay
Yeah.
server, and there's a web
It will
browser showing
update.
you all the
Okay.
functionalities.
That's great. And as we always do with all the new developments, it will come for free if your remote assistance contract is active. So we have a question from Adit from GBS. Thank you for your question. There is an option through the plus sign containing the live option. What is that function for?
Okay, yes. Let's see, in practical.
Yeah.
Okay, what I can bring in my playlist. I was saying you can bring virtual NDI sources, so via IP.
Yes.
You can import a URL, so a streaming video coming via IP,
Okay.
and a live. Depending on the license you have or UPlay, you can have a live pass-through coming inside the playlist. So I have, for example, 3 pre-recorded videos, 1, 2, 3, and if the license I purchased from Axel
Yeah.
allows you to have the play while capture,
Okay.
I can insert a live feed. And that's interesting because in bypass, you can insert this element, live element, in the playlist and treat the element as part of the playlist.
Okay,
So
that's great.
you can switch to a live source.
Okay, so this is only available if you are managing the UPlay server version.
Yes.
So talking about the different kind of licensing, as Matteo already explained, already mentioned before, we have the free version of UPlay, which we encourage you to download immediately if you don't have it, and in order to test it and play with it as much as you wish. Then we have the UPlay Pro version, which would be the first level. Then the UPlay Broadcast, which would be the full license without the capturing, because the capturing would be available only in the UPlay server version, which we normally suggest with the right hardware. So normally we wouldn't suggest to purchase the software only for the UPlay server version. In any case, if you need an offer, please do not hesitate and write to sales@axeltechnology.com, and both me and my colleague Ilaria Malucelli would be more than glad to reply to all your queries. I think we don't have any other question, Matteo, so thank you very much again for being with us
Thank
today.
you.
It was my pleasure. And hopefully we will have many other occasions
Absolutely.
in the future.
I will say that for people that are testing the UPlay free, you can evaluate, like after a test of seeing if it fits your needs,
Sure.
just to buy the Pro version. And in case one day you will see that the Pro version is not enough because you need all the option, you can just pay for the upgrade.
Yeah,
So
of
the
course.
flexibility as well is in the licensing. You can play with the UPlay free, then switch to the UPlay
the
Pro,
Pro.
and then to
Yeah.
the broadcast. So
Definitely.
That's interesting because you can test and see time to time which is your need and which is
Yeah, of course.
the
You don't
version
have to
that fits your need.
purchase the full
Absolutely.
license at the beginning if you are not sure that you will need
Absolutely.
all the features, and you can test step by step. So thank you again, Matteo.
Thank you.
And we will see very soon. Thank to all the friends who were connected with us today, and we will see you shortly. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Bye.